there was some big news this morning. I don't know if you all were on the online meeting. That was
some of our diehards were.
There were a lot of diehards.
Were there?
Alex Morello was on this meeting, by the way, for the Arizona State Land Department's appeals board. So the news of the day, of course, which we already knew was coming and we already told you was coming, is that the Land Department approved the Coyotes application. So what comes from here, of course, is they have to publicly post it for auction. And we're expecting, what I've heard is that's probably happening early next week. And then we wait for the auction date. It's a minimum of 10 weeks. What I've been told is it's probably coming in mid-June, so it'll be a little longer. So there are a lot of ramifications. And can I say it now? The Discord thing, the questions?
Yeah.
All right. We opened this up for questions in the Discord to diehards only to ask us some questions about the arena. What did you want to know about whether it's the process, the sale, what comes after, whatever. I threw it open and let you ask questions. And I've been doing a lot of reporting. I've answered most of those questions already. I will have a story probably at some point next week if they post it publicly. But we wanted to take a look in the meantime, before all those other details come out, at some of the greater threats, I think, to this arena. Obviously, Coyotes fans have been through a lot already. And look, this is not a slam dunk. We know by now, we're hardened to this fact that
we're jaded.
The Coyotes arena is never a slam dunk. So we decided to take a look at probably the greatest threats to the Coyotes arena. So we're going to start with the first one that's been discussed quite a bit on social media recently, and that would be flooding.
There it is.
No, this is
there
it is. The floods.
Oh, my God.
This looks like a 500-year flood to me, doesn't it? Does it look like that to you?
Yeah.
Peter, you live in this area. I mean, you guys are pretty concerned about floods, aren't you?
Surprisingly, I do live in this area, and I actually live in the exact same floodplain, and that is 100% true. I'm not reporting it. It's true. I pay the insurance on it, so I know there's not going to be a flood here. There's no concern. And when we talk about that floodplain, the Mayo Clinic's in that floodplain.
Yeah. Is Desert Ridge Mall too?
Theaters, Desert Ridge. There's apartments. There's housing.
Yes.
Being in a floodplain in Arizona does not mean like living in a floodplain in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Nope.
When I lived in a floodplain in North Dakota, guess what? The Red River Valley overflowed and it ruined people's homes. You know what? That doesn't happen here. Not in the Phoenix metro area. There are points higher up in the high country that do have it, and I'm so sorry for the damage that floods do up there. Yeah. It doesn't happen here in the valley. There's so much flood mitigation and so many things, and flood barriers. They're actually building a new flood mitigation area just north of this floodplain right now on Happy Valley Road. This is not a concern. This is not a thing. Are you sure?
Because some people sent me headlines of past flash floods in Arizona and said, see, look, there's been flash floods.
There have been flash floods in Arizona.
Y'all should be worried about this.
Go up to Wickenburg. And then there have been flash floods here, but there have not been any flash floods in the metro area of Phoenix on the 101 and Scottsdale Road. Well, since they have driven cars, maybe in the horse times they did, but they don't now. It's just it's not a real legitimate.
And also
concern.
they mitigate for it. It's built into the plan.
It's
so
part of the plan when they build this building. They wouldn't build it without
I watched the video where they're talking about this is a serious concern that needs to be planned.
No, not a concern.
No, it's not.
Not a concern.
Stop pretending to be a reporter from out of town who actually knows what's happening here in Arizona, because you just sound utterly
floods,
clueless.
Craig. We've seen them.
Utterly clueless.
They get floods.
Yes, they do.
Louisiana floods. Off the Mississippi River floods. Arizona, no.
There's something I'm really concerned about.
Yeah,
I don't think it's getting enough attention.
I agree.
It's a big plot of desert land. And I don't know, it makes me think about Area 51.
It's true.
And the potential for alien invasion. So this is my biggest concern.
Aliens.
This is the thing that could derail the project. The potential for alien invasion in this piece of land is so great. I don't know how they can.
It's open desert. It's dark. So, I mean, what was the fire in the sky? It had happened in the White Mountains. I mean, obviously they like Arizona.
So I've lived in Arizona since 1997. I have never seen a flood in the Phoenix metro area. I have seen aliens. We saw them on the fire. And if people think I'm kidding, look up lights over White Tank Mountains. Look it up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's real. The lights were real. It's a thing.
Fire in the sky too. I'm just saying. I'm thinking that they like to vacation here as much as other people.
More aliens than floods.
Yeah, probably so.
The anniversary of the Phoenix Lights was like
the Phoenix
yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Phoenix Lights. What year was that? 99? 2000? It was right in there. The Phoenix Lights.
That's very interesting.
Google it. We got Raz, get on that. Google the Phoenix Lights over South Mountain.
PD,
it was a thing.
Do you want to talk about any of these concerns, or you want me to roll with it here?
You can go ahead.
When I think about apocalypses, I think about locusts.
Oh,
I'm concerned about locusts.
Can you imagine that?
What would you do? This would drive people away from
did you
this
guys
entertainment
see that
center.
A bee swarm stopped a tennis match today?
See? It could happen.
97.
97 was the
There you go.
lights.
See, lights.
That's-
Locusts, and again, have seen that. Have seen locusts here. Maybe not a swarm. I've seen 2 or 3 on my patio at a time, which again, I've seen more than I've seen flooding.
And Leah brought up one more that I hadn't even thought about before she texted it to me. But the worst part about this one is that you don't know what's coming until it's too late.
Yeah, it's so true. And that, of course, is the sandworms from Dune. I mean, sand, it's a desert.
It could happen.
Who says, we don't know.
That could
They're-
swallow up the entire arena.
I mean, they
Easy.
could be ready to drop the puck on opening night and the sandworm could appear.
Could happen. Much more likely, again, a sandworm from Dune is still much more likely to hit the arena by the 101 in Scottsdale Road than a flood.
Should I go back to that other slide that we saw initially?
Yeah.
This is my other concern, and it's probably,
If you
people
watch
say you
Weekend
watch too much
Binge-
TV. I might be a victim of watching too much TV. But when I think about recent series that have really made an impact on me, I think of The Last of Us, and I worry about a fungi takeover of the world. And this is what it could look like. This could be Phoenix after the fungi takeover.
Now we're putting these in basis of fact and reality. Again, this would be somewhere between Dune sandworms and locusts.
We're
for me.
ranking them.
Because this is right near the Mayo Clinic.
You know what? While we're at it, go ahead and rank the 5 choices that we just gave
it's
you in
near
order
the
of
Mayo Clinic.
probability.
Do you know what's going on in the Mayo Clinic? I don't know what's going on
That's
inside there.
a fair
They
point,
have
right?
research stuff going on there.
That's a good point. There's medical research going on right across the 101.
the freeway. Again, much more likely
Hey,
than the floods.
maybe that's why Mayo wants to expand into this area too. So
Maybe
I've
they
been
know something we don't.